Dr. Parmjee Palmer.
I move that the question be now put.
I'm going to hear from Catherine Delahunty.
Tēnā koutou te whare. This has been an interesting debate, and if my colleague has been accused of sanctimonious, just wait for what I've got. I wonder how the people sitting in the motels who've been sent there by work and income because they've got nowhere to live, watching parliamentary television, because what else would you do? I'm sure they're all glued to the screen. Think about this bill. I wonder how those people feel listening to the technical and arcane debate when what they want is somewhere to live that they can afford. And I wonder what they think about the special housing area rhetoric, which turns out to be business as usual. It turns out to be the government saying we're doing something but not really doing something, which is quite a familiar theme to any observer of the Parliament. And I wonder how it feels for the people who testified at the Homeless Inquiry when they read Part 1 of this bill and look for the innovative, committed, justice-based provisions that are going to provide them with a home. I wonder what they think of us, as they know we're going home to comfortable homes and they're going back to the car, the garage, all the transients of 22 different homes for a child in 3 years. And we call this a debate about housing? This isn't a debate about housing. This is about some weird excuse for acting on something that the government hasn't got the guts to call a crisis. And why are we in urgency? Because this is a crisis. It's a crisis of conscience for this Parliament to sit here in 2016 and make up rules about housing that will assist and facilitate developers and do nothing for the people who are shut out. And they are shut out from $200,000 homes, let alone $500,000 or $600,000 homes. Get real for a change, people. Do you know what, do these people who write this legislation know what it's like to have no home? I will listen to Marama Davidson and Materia Ture because they know, because Marama is a renter in South Auckland. Why don't we listen to the renters in South Auckland and the people who've parked up for homes? Because they know what the people are going through. It is too late in the history of this time to treat people as if homelessness was something that could be fixed by some bizarre tinkering with the market. It cannot be fixed by that. The people on the streets are looking at us for guidance and leadership right now. And what are we giving them? Special housing areas over sacred sites in Tamaki Makaurau? When I was a child, my parents bought a house through the state advances. When I was an adult, I capitalised the family benefit so I could have a kitchen and bathroom on a floor that wasn't sloping for my child. I was lucky to be born in that dreadful old socialist welfare, terrible era when the state thought people could have a house and that they would help them do it, and then when they had it, we could get on with our lives as families and build a society and a community that worked. And we've walked away, this government has walked away from that. I'm not asking for a romantic, latte-free 1950s reality. I'm just asking for the state to take responsibility for a crisis. I'm just asking that we actually pass legislation here that will facilitate for those who really need it, not those people who like to play the market and who want to invest in a couple of homes. Because if this bill did what it said it would, then Materia wouldn't need a supplementary order paper. And no one would be calling Marama Davidson sanctimonious, because she stands up every day in this House for the people, her own people, who are constantly marginalised by privilege. But that's not what's happening in this bill. And we're in urgency because this issue is so simple that we don't want the public to talk about it. If this Parliament had a solution, Why would you go into urgency and prevent people from coming and discussing that solution? It's only because this isn't a solution that we're having this conversation and blocking out the public. It's a disgrace, Mr. Chair.
Chris Hipkins.